Hello, before we begin today's video, can you please like, share, and subscribe to the channel because it actually helps expand the wonderful knowledge of NY and JPA weather and helps yours truly. So I really would appreciate it. So thank you, and as always, stay safe out there. Now let's get to today's video. Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for Monday, December 1st, 2025. Of course, it is the start of meteorological winter, where, for meteorologists, we go from the start of December to the end of February for our meteorological winter. The astronomical start is, of course, December 21st, the shortest day of the year. But we have some winter weather already on the way, and a lot of confusion, a lot of model mayhem has been unfolding over the past couple of days. The European has been all over the place, a little bit too cold, a little bit too warm. The GFS, well, being the GFS. And of course, we have our mesoscale models. The good news is that the forecast from yours truly has been pretty steady since about Wednesday, where we broke down what to expect for this storm back in the live chat. And my expectations were still the same. This is a sheared, low-pressure system with some moderate snowfall and maybe a little bit of enhancement out towards eastern New England via some ocean enhancement. But other than that, this is a fast-moving system. We're still going to have live coverage of this storm tomorrow starting at noon, so definitely check that out on YouTube, X, and of course at Twitch. Currently, right now, we have a cold front that is approaching the region with a few flurries here and there. Nothing really too significant. Winds are from the northwest around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Temperatures range from the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, mid 30s in our suburbs, upper 30s to lower 40s in the urban areas and on the immediate coast. You can see here on the latest WeatherTap radar and surface map, there's our cold front dropping in with some lake enhancement and lake effect snow coming off of Lake Ontario, dropping a few flurries in around Scranton and maybe around the Poconos, obviously, and the Catskills, but nothing really too significant as that cold front drops south. Okay, now here is our storm. Again, a nice short wave in the subtropical jet stream, moisture loaded. Okay, so our La Nina effect is starting to wane a bit. And this storm is moving at a pretty quick pace, but it is not intensifying. It's weakening as it approaches us. So as a result, plenty of moisture, but this is not an intense storm. It's a fast-moving storm, and it's moving at a pretty good pace. And you can see here on the infrared satellite picture, how do I know that this is weakening a bit? Well, look at the cloud tops here. When you see stronger lifting, you see brighter cloud tops. Notice the cloud tops here are starting to fade a little bit. Again, this all falls into the same discussion I had back on Wednesday, where this pattern is not supportive for a strong storm. This is a sheared out storm with interacting with some cold air and a little bit of moisture, and that's how you get your frozen precipitation. So we're not looking for a major blockbuster storm or anything of that nature. And because of the time of year, this is why I typically say if you're looking for snowfall along or southeast of the I-95 corridor, you really want to wait till after December 15th because our ground temperatures and boundary layer is typically a little bit too warm unless you have literally like the perfect setup for the weather pattern, i.e. strong negative NAO, a nice high pressure system to the north, strong ridge over Montana. We don't have any of that. So adjust accordingly. So that is why our forecast, which has been in place and been pretty constant, has basically your best potential for accumulating snowfall on the roadways in Zone 1, which is extreme northwestern New Jersey, a lot of northeastern Pennsylvania, the Catskills, central Hudson River Valley, northern and northwestern Connecticut. Zone 2, 3, and 4, basically scenic. Okay, if you get snow accumulation, it's going to be on cold surfaces. The roadways are generally going to be wet, a little slick, so definitely use some caution. The bulk of your snowfall will be at the start of the storm as the moisture is coming in. So I'm expecting a start at around 8 a.m. I wouldn't be surprised to get a few flurries popping in here and there at 7 a.m. But at 8 a.m., you'll see the snow starting to develop. You'll get a quick burst and then a gradual change over to rain from
southeast to northwest. Okay, so zone 4 pretty much rain. You might see a flurry at the very start, but that's it. Okay, zone 3, that's where you get a little burst of snow, maybe a trace here, maybe at most an inch if you see any type of burst, especially up towards the suburbs of New York City. But for the most part, if you blink, you'll miss the snowfall. Zone 2, this is where you got a little bit more potential here for some snow, sleet, and rain with some accumulation on the grass and on your cold surfaces of an inch or two before you get that changeover to rain. And then is basically just wet roadways. And then zone 1 is where you have more of that steady wet snow. And this is a wet snow as well because the temperatures are generally marginal here. So we're talking about a wet, thick paste type snowfall. Looking at most locations around that 3-inch mark, but we could get a few bursts up to 4, 5, or 6 inches in some of these areas via some mesoscale banding, which we'll keep an eye on. Again, nothing really too intense or anything of that nature, but certainly your most treacherous conditions up here in zone 1. So walking through the forecast for today, it is quiet, calm before the storm with tranquil conditions, high pressure building in behind that cold front. Look for high temperatures in the lower to mid 30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. For tonight into tomorrow morning, look for increasing clouds with precipitation starting to break out. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. And then throughout the morning hours and into the afternoon, that rain snow line will push northward. The precipitation will generally become rain from most of the region, except for the locations where I pointed out in zone 1, where we'll continue to see snow continuing, mixing with a little bit of sleet at times here and there. But your snowfall continuing up here, your rainfall continuing down here. So again, between 7 a.m. and 1 p.m. For zones 2, 3 and 4, if you blink or you sleep in a little late, you're going to miss any of that snowfall. And by the time you get to the mid-morning hours, a lot of it's going to be washed away. Look for high temperatures tomorrow in the mid-30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s everywhere else. Then by tomorrow evening, as that low pressure system is pulling away, that precipitation will gradually change over to snow from the late evening hours on through the early morning hours on Wednesday. In fact, by about 2 a.m., most of this precipitation will be done. By 4 a.m., maybe a flurry or two, if that. But this is going to be pretty much done by the time we get to Tuesday night, and then you just have lingering precipitation thereafter. By Wednesday morning, you're looking at low temperatures in the mid-20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. So watch out for some slick spots, some icy conditions throughout the entire region. By Wednesday afternoon, high pressures are controlled with scattered cloud cover. Look for low temperatures in the lower to mid-30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. On Thursday, a cold front will drop through with a few flurries here and there. Nothing really too major, but it'll make it feel nice out there. With low temperatures in the mid-20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the lower to mid-30s over the northern interior, upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. A little bit of an Arctic blast Thursday night into Friday morning with high pressure passing over the region. Temperatures are going to get very, very chilly on Friday morning with low temperatures in the single digits to lower teens over the northern interior, mid-teens to around 20 degrees in your suburbs, and lower 20s in your urban areas. And high temperatures will only rebound into the lower to mid-20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s in the Delaware River Valley, and lower to mid-30s on the immediate coast. On Saturday, we're going to be watching this low pressure system. We're going to go with a mix of rain and snow here. There's a lot we don't know about this setup here. This could be a little bit faster, interact with this low, and you can get a little bit more of a robust storm. But again, we're not in that pattern yet, and you premium members know what I'm talking about, where we can really set up these winter storms just yet. We're in that development phase, so we'll keep an eye on it and see what takes place here. Look for low temperatures in the mid-teens to lower 20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s in your suburbs, and lower to mid 30s in your urban areas and along the immediate coast. High temperatures, as this low pressure system passes away, will range from the mid 30s over the northern interior and upper 30s to lower 40s along the coast. Again, this is subject to change, so we'll keep an eye on this setup. On Sunday, another little weak trough drops on through with a few flurries here and there. Look for low temperatures in the mid 20s over the northern interior, upper 20s to lower 30s along the coast. High temperatures in the upper 20s to lower 30s over the northern interior, mid to upper 30s in the Delaware River Valley, upper 30s to lower 40s on the immediate coast. And on Monday, high pressure will be in control with tranquil conditions, but very cold. Low temperatures in the single digits over the northern interior, lower to mid-teens in your suburbs, mid to upper teens in your urban areas. So it's going to be a heck of a shock. High temperatures will only be in the lower to mid-20s over the northern interior, mid to upper 20s along the coast. That is your forecast discussion for today. We'll have a live coverage set up for tomorrow starting at noon to keep an eye on this storm, see if there's any changes. Not expecting much, but we'll keep an eye on it. Good test run anyway for a winter storm. So premium members, as always, you get the chance to ask any questions you like, and everyone else can watch along as we look at the data. In the meantime, stay safe out there.
Thank you for watching today's video. I really do appreciate it. But if you want to help the channel out even more, and myself, of course, you might want to check out Premium Consulting Membership, which provides amazing content and information that you get beyond the daily video that you see Monday through Friday. So what do you get? Well, you get updates every day in the Premium dashboard, starting with, of course, checking out the latest winter forecast or other seasonal forecasts throughout the year, live coverage room where you can ask me questions live and I respond usually within a few minutes. Also, the latest holiday updates, how the weather will impact that upcoming holiday. If you are into landscaping or you work in landscaping, should I say, you will get the latest details on whether or not rainfall will be a threat and impact your job. And of course, there is all the other content. The zoomed in impact map, the severe threat analysis, long range thoughts, the premium consulting video, and also energy analysis, seasonal analysis, additional analysis when the storms get really tricky, winter storm overviews, and when the tropics gets really active, all of the updates, including the individual storms and the overview as well. And if you're a business owner, we also have a specific impact forecast for you guys as well, your own weather map. So let's take a look at the prices. Pretty fair. $15 a month gets you all this information. If you're looking for a little bit of a discount, you can also have a yearly at $150 and quarterly at $60. And also, for all of you business owners out there, you have the ability to get your own web page, your own consulting analysis based on what you need every day in the morning, updated Monday through Sunday without any delay. And of course, you can call me up as well and have that one-on-one consultation. So all this and more at NY and JPA Weather. Thank you as always for being a subscriber and watching the videos. But if you're looking for a little bit more, this would definitely be one of the ways to do so. So in the meantime, stay safe out there.